What's up, my friends? It's Austin Broussard. I'm a Yale MBA, former Bain consultant, and today I'm going to walk you through why I spent over $200,000 to get an MBA just to build a business that can help make you millions. If you don't mind, we can jump right into it. Let's take a look. We're here to talk about why I spent over $200,000 to build a company that can actually help you make millions. First, let's start with my backstory. It all starts in 2013. Well, obviously, it doesn't all start there, but that's where this story is going to start. I know there are a bunch of folks on YouTube who are making a bunch of false claims, so I just wanted people to be able to see what's verifiable, right? So I was at Bain. This was actually after the internship. I got the full-time offer. All of that went well. And in my final year of college, I could pretty much relax because I knew that I had a full-time job at one of the top 3 companies in the world in the consulting space. So the summary is I've been in consulting for a while. And even before Bain, I was at Deloitte. Just wanted you to see the email. Obviously, you can zoom in and read it or pause the video if you want to. But again, I know a bunch of folks are making false claims, so we're just starting off on a great foot. Like I said, I graduated, things were going well. You can see I had a couple of chords, which means I paid attention in class and did okay. But the unfortunate part is 6 months after starting at Bain, at one of the best companies in the world, I lost my only sibling who's standing there in that photo with me. What it meant to me was really, really simple. I had the corporate credit card. I was flying 4 days a week. I was living the high life, and I thought things were perfect. At 22 years old at that time, how was I supposed to know any better? But what was unfortunate is that after that experience, I realized very quickly that regardless of where I'd started, I didn't have a rags to riches story, but regardless of where I'd started in life, at that point, there was no one who I knew who could buy me time, who could buy the people that I cared about time to be able to take care of ourselves as we healed from that tragedy, or at least worked to do so. So what did I do? I said, I want to become an entrepreneur. And since then, I've tried a lot of stuff. I'll be honest with you. The first piece of real estate I ever bought is actually in a cemetery. But after that, I started to learn how to invest, how to flip houses. Here's a check. Again, we talked about things being verifiable. The cool thing is you can zoom in, you can see it, you can pause if you need to. I just want to show that I didn't just start making money, and I'm not a person who just got on the internet and decided I want to teach something random. Instead, I want to walk you all through the process about how you can do what I'm about to explain. Again, I'll scroll to the right. You'll see that I was making money. This is something that it took me, I did the house flip for this. This check only took me 2 weeks to make. This is when I started building my high ticket information business, teaching people not just the real estate process, but I had gotten into government contracting at that point. And I was booking appointments, running Facebook ads, doing the thing that you want to do if you want clients online these days. And this is just to show you, hey, I wasn't the worst at getting calendar appointments booked so that I could have those sales calls and close those clients. This next piece, again, is just more proof, right? I was able to get people to pay. I was actually doing this pretty much part-time because I was full-time in school around the time that you see these payments come through. But the point is, I was able to learn the system and deploy it for myself. And it actually really worked. But what I noticed is really simple. Regardless of what kind of business you have, right? I don't care whether you're doing HVAC, plumbing, media, law. What you really need is a consistent flow of clients. And what I realized is that in 2020, I should say, in the pandemic, a lot of people got online and started teaching courses, and the entire online community got jaded. Anytime you hopped online and saw an ad, you saw 100 comments of people saying, this is a scam, yet another guru. It's not true. I guarantee the stuff that they're teaching doesn't work. And I saw that there was a fatigue within the market. And it really, really damages your ability to get clients and get a consistent flow of leads if you don't have the ability to transfer what you know from an attention-grabbing media outlet to be able to actually fill up that sales calendar and have those sales conversations, to be able to deliver what you're promising to these clients. And so I wanted to fix that, but I wanted to find a solution to actually be sustainable so that I can grow to the cash flow level that was important to me. Again, real estate brings cash flow. Owning businesses brings cash flow. Working at a great job doesn't necessarily bring cash flow because you have to spend your hours to get those dollars. But I wanted to know, what do I do as a business owner to be able to work less, but be able to make the same amount of money that I was making in corporate or way more, so that my life can actually be what I want it to be, so I can design it to have that peace and freedom that I talked about earlier in this conversation just a couple of minutes ago. So what did I learn? Well, I learned that you see a bunch of folks online, right? I'll scroll over to the right. There are a bunch of folks online teaching a lot of information. Alex Hormozy does a great job. I'm sure he's made over $100 million. But you saw a bunch of these little agencies popping up. People that wanted to set appointments for anybody that was selling high ticket information, who was a coach, consultant, or service business. They said, look, we'll do the appointment thing for you. And they built an agency around that. Or people who said, hey, we're really good at doing cold email. We can email your prospects that have never heard from you before. And I guarantee that we'll have some great numbers and they'll respond. And we'll have a call to action and you'll be able to close some deals. They built an agency around that. You also had some folks that said, hey, you know what? In this day and age, content is king. So they built an agency around that, those 7 to 30-second videos, maybe even 1-minute videos that you see on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, all of the platforms through which we consume our media. But those were short-sighted solutions. And what I realized is those were about to reach their extinction date at some point soon, based on the fact that they were limited in what they were actually able to deliver. They were only handling one part of the problem, but how can you handle the rest? That's where this gets interesting. So here's what really is kind of the model that you see in most of the businesses that you see online these days. You'll have an offer where they're saying, hey, we can fix your problem doing X, Y, or Z, right? That offer is focused on, of course, delivering one of these kind of 3 mechanisms toward the clients, right? This is what the marketing agency does. These are deliverables for that marketing agency. And if you have a high ticket business, basically you're having to run a marketing agency without really knowing it, because you end up doing all this stuff yourself. So yes, I built ClickFunnels. Yes, I did my own appointment setting. Yes, I did my own cold calls. Yes, I built my own Facebook ads, delivering the ad, tweaking the ad, running the ad, managing the ad spend. I did all of it. And I was a burnt out, high ticket coaching person, just like everyone else on the internet. But it wasn't enough for me. And I realized there were these elements of what I understood and knew how to do. And I broke it down based on my consulting experience coming from one of those top companies in the world. Like I mentioned, it's not to brag, but it's just to give you some context on the pedigree of my ability to think through these problems. And I saw that there were kind of 3 main parts of what we were talking about here. So first was attention, right? So the paid ads, doing YouTube, doing short form, doing content distribution, all of that was kind of part of what I would have to do for myself. And if I wanted to market for other businesses, what I would have to do for them. Then there was the conversion, right? When you actually get the attention of your ideal client, how do you convert them into someone who's actually putting dollars in your business bank account? Well, you can put closers in place, people who are doing the sales for you. But if you don't have enough time to train them, that can be difficult. You can put setters in place, people who are actually booking the appointments online. These are generally employees from all over the world who a lot of folks don't pay a lot per hour, but it might be good for their individual markets. And they're able to have some conversations by DMing people on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn. I'm sure you've all received those kind of DMs. And then, of course, you can also build a community, a Facebook group. You can do webinars. You can do all that stuff. And then here comes the hard or the fun part, which is the delivery. How do you actually fulfill on the promise that you just made to these clients, right? You can put systems in place for them. You can try to automate. Of course, there's a lot going on with AI when it comes to automation now. And you can do recruitment to help them essentially, again, build more income after delivering the solution that you told them you would give them. But this, if you're doing it all yourself or you're only doing one part of it, is a less than $5,000 offer, which is why you have so many of these agencies online that are doing pay per performance. Will say, hey, if we get you an appointment, pay us $100 per appointment or $200 per appointment that we get you, because they realized they couldn't actually charge their clients a lot of money up front because they weren't delivering something that was super valuable up front. And the client could see through the smoke and mirrors, basically, that had developed online and say, hey, you're really only handling one part of my problem. So the problem is this: if you're delivering a high ticket, if you have a high ticket info business, or you have a marketing business and you want to generate clients online, you can get $1,000 to $3,000, $2,000 to $5,000 clients a month, right? Doing one of the things. We talked about the different verticals, right? Where you're getting attention, you're actually kind of doing the delivery, you're managing the mechanisms to actually make the sales. But all of these solutions fail to do this. Get your client from their current state to their desired reality, right? You can do email marketing, but it doesn't get you all the way across the bridge. You can do short form content. You can do ads. You can do any of the things that were listed in that previous list that we just talked about. But what you really want is a solution that actually is soup to nuts and crosses the entire bridge to get your client from where they are to where they want to go. So let's talk about what that looks like. So if you have a full solution, What you really want to think about is how can you develop a growth agency where you are a partner to the clients that you're trying to serve, so that instead of saying, hey, we'll do your cold email for you, but then you have to be able to respond to them, do the call to actions, make sure you have the meetings, make sure you're actually doing the sales calls and all the rest. What if you could provide a full service solution to those clients to say, hey, I know you're really good at, I don't know, doing concrete jobs, or you're really good at teaching people about the trucking industry. But what you struggle with is having a consistent flow of clients that are banging down your door, ready to pay you top dollar for the information that you're willing to provide or for the service that you're willing to provide. So what I can do and what you can do after watching this video and the rest of the ones that you'll see on my channel is figure out a way to provide a holistic solution that literally covers all of the boxes and checks all the boxes that this worried business owner who wants to know how is my next client going to arrive at my door is trying to figure out how to get. Here's what we need to look at. So first is your attention, right? With the attention, the paid ads, the YouTube revamp, the short form content, the content distribution, the VAs, that can be done for you. That's the DFY, or that can be done with you. You can offer that, right? Second, for the conversion, you can offer putting closers in place for those business owners to say, hey, they can have the sales conversations for you. You can place setters to say, hey, these people will actually book the appointments, and then the closer will take the call for you, so that money is just coming into your bank account as a business owner, and that business owner can focus on the delivery. You can offer building a community for them. You can do webinar ramp up. Excuse the typo here really quickly. So you can do webinar ramp up, or you can offer to help them with fulfillment. You can do all of those things, and now you've gotten something that's comprehensive to take this really stressed out business owner that's trying to figure out how to build a client acquisition system while still running their business. And you can tell them, hey, we can take all of that off of your hands. You can charge them $5, $10, $15, even $20,000 to do just that. I'm not just telling you what I heard. You saw the payments up top, and that most recent payment for $14,000 was just from this past week, so that you don't think I've been out of the game for a while and now I'm just teaching what I used to know. But what I want you to know is once you take these items, you can create a package based on your suite of services that can actually solve the problem for your ideal client, as opposed to just providing them the solution, thinking that because you have a hammer, everything is a nail, right? Just because you have this one solution that you're really good at, you try to bang it toward every problem, and it doesn't work for your ideal client, and they need something different, which is why so many of these agencies that started online started having to say, essentially, it's a race to the bottom for how much we'll charge, because clients were not actually satisfied, and they weren't getting from where they were to where they wanted to go, which was a business that had a pipeline full of clients and a bank account full of money. So what would we do? What do I suggest? I would suggest you do this. So I'm going to copy and paste. So what if you said, I will create a solution for you where not only do we do the paid ads for you, and we leverage, of course, a team of individuals that's doing this on behalf of those businesses. You don't have to be a Facebook ads expert or learn how to be one either. And then what we'll do is, after you run the paid ads, we'll put setters in place so that when those people click on your ad and they become a lead, you don't have to engage them directly and feel like, hey, I have to be up at midnight responding to the people that are clicking on my Facebook ad, or they'll fall out of my pipeline. You don't have to do that. We have an automated system of people that can be working on your behalf, so that this client acquisition system becomes actually automated. Literally one in which your calendar becomes full, and you don't even have to have the sales closing conversations, because we can place closers for those businesses, so those businesses don't even have to worry about who's going to take the call. Again, you see how we're building this stack of value? And then lastly, when it comes to the systems, okay, what if that closer has a conversation and the buyer doesn't buy? How do they remain in your pipeline of business? How do you continue to educate them about why they need what you're providing, so that one day they actually do buy what you're offering to them, right? The rule of thumb online says that only 2% of the people that see your ads are ready to buy right now. So if that's the case, what happens to the other 98%? The fortune is in the follow-up, but if you don't have a system, if you don't have email marketing, if you don't have an SMS follow-up, if you don't have people that are sending the messages to say, hey, we saw that you became a lead, but then there was a problem and you didn't reach back out, so can we still help you? If you don't have that system in place that's working for you while you're asleep, then you are going to be one of those harebrained business owners. You see, I don't have any hair. me being in business is part of the reason why. But seriously, you're going to be one of those business owners that's frustrated, doesn't have enough money, doesn't have enough clients, and does not have enough time. But when you're able to put this package together, right? When you're able to stack this together so that a person can come to you and you can offer a unique solution that is just you picking from your suite of services based on the leveraged team that you'll have, then and only then can you tell that client, if I'm able to do this stuff for you, you not only have to pay me $10,000 up front, but I also want a part of the revenue because I know that I can take your business from making $10,000 a month to $100,000 a month. And that's where the growth partner becomes a part of the equation, right? You're not just an individual that's providing fees for services, services for fees, excuse me, but you're an individual that says, I can grow your business and I want to be a partner in that growth. I want some of the revenue. And that's how you scale to the $50,000 to $100,000 a month without having to work yourself to the bone, without having to figure out how to have 48 hours in a day instead of 24, and without having to sit at a desk with someone who you may or may not agree with after you spend a lot on a degree or after you spend a lot to learn how to do these business programs, and them not understanding that you actually have the talent, but you may not have the resources and you're not being compensated proportionate to the amount of value that you actually bring to the table. So how would I close this, right? After you've put this package together, this $10,000 to $20,000 offer that you can actually provide to these clients, you then can map out the clients that actually need your services, right? So that you say, hey, if I can provide this or any number of these organizations of practices for business, so that it's a comprehensive solution to get them from where they are to where they actually want to be. Let's see where that is. You can come in and say, hey, I know that coaches need it. If they're an online coach of any kind of information, let's say teaching people, I don't know, Airbnb or real estate or trucking or any of the other services. It can be a local business. I don't care if it's an HVAC business or a concrete business. We show you that this process works to help them scale. Our law firm, as an example, any business that needs leads, a law firm that says, hey, we're an injury law firm, but we need to know where the folks who had injuries are, and we need them banging down our door, and we need a system in place so that we can document who's coming through the door. We can engage them consistently without having to, again, stay up all night to respond to each of those individual contacts from our website. We can have sales conversations either by the lawyers or by a closing team. And then there can be a system to help make sure that we manage all those clients, whether it be a client relationship management system or another that you have to automate the process of follow-up and all of the rest. This, and I'm going to get out of the weeds now for a second. I'm sorry for getting so deep into them, but this is how I'm able to build an agency that's scaling to the $50,000 to $100,000 per month range without having to work 100 hours a week. There are people all over the world that work on my team right now that are reaching out to business owners, that are responding to the information that I've put online, that are responding to ads, that are responding to sales conversations that I don't have to have. And that allows me to really think about how to work on my business as opposed to just working in my business and trying to be a firefighter, putting out fires from left to right, like so many people have to do when they're working as a solopreneur or they're working as a highly paid employee. Being a high income earner is great, but being a leveraged business owner is the way that you walk yourself toward your path to wealth without having to guess your way through the process. If you're interested in really learning how to execute this plan, go ahead and click the link. You can book some time with my team, and we can have a free walkthrough about how you take this information, apply it to the skills that you already have, and then leverage yourself into the success that you desire. I look forward to talking soon. You can actually go ahead and click the links below to follow me on Instagram or any other platforms. You will continue to be educated. I will continue to share this kind of information. And we're going to help you go from being a person who's wondering what to do next. Do I buy a business? Do I start a business? Do I go back to school? Do I change my agency? To an individual who has a very clear picture and a plan about how to scale with intentionality so that your profits and your success are predictable. We'll talk soon.